Okay, let's take a look at some other examples. This problem says find two possible numbers with a sum of 23 and the product is a maximum. Okay, so here we have two numbers which we are looking for. If we say the smaller number is x, then another number will be 23 minus x. Why? Because we're told that the sum of these two numbers is 23. And what we're looking for is we want to determine these two numbers such that their product is a maximum. Because the product of these two numbers we can write as x times 23 minus x. So in this problem, the quantity we're going to optimize is to determine x such that we are able to maximize this term, x times 23 minus x. So if we think this as a function, if we write this as a function, so we have a function fx equals negative x squared plus 23x. Okay, just like the previous examples, before we start finding the critical points, let's think about what is the domain of this function. Because it says we want the product to be a maximum, so these two numbers, they must have the same signs. Because if one of them is positive, the other is negative, the product won't be maximum, right? So here, the numbers we're looking for, they are both positive. Why they are both positive? Because the sum is a positive numbers. So if both numbers are negative, their sum won't be 23. So therefore, the domain we determine here is from 0 to infinity. Okay, then to find the critical point, we take the derivative of this function. We can get negative 2x plus 23. And by letting this be 0, we can find the critical points. Which equals 11.5. Okay. Since x equals 11.5, therefore 23 minus x, it is also 11.5. So these two numbers are 23 over 2 and 23 over 2. So when this, in other words, when these two numbers are the same number, their product is a maximum. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at another problem. A travel agency advertises that they will provide a mountain bike trip and a picnic lunch for $50 per person. They must have a guarantee of 30 people to do the trip. Furthermore, they agreed that for each person in excess of 30, they will reduce the price per person for all riders by 50 cents. Suppose that the travel agency's fixed cost is $500 and it costs them $5 per person to join the trip. We want to find the price that the travel agency to charge in order to maximize the profit and also determine the what is the maximum profit. Okay, this problem is pretty long. Let's read this problem again and to pick up the useful information. So this sentence says they must have a guarantee of 30 people to do the trip. This tells us if the number of participants is less than 30, then the travel agency won't hold this event. So the minimum number of participants is 30. And at this point, if there are 30 people, then for each person they charge for $50. Okay. And the next sentence says they agree that for each person in excess of 30, they will reduce the price per person for all riders by 50 cents. So that means if there are more people who are participating, then then each person will receive a discount on the price, and this discount equals the number of people who are more than 30 and multiplied by this number 50 cents. So for example, now if there are 31 people who are going to participate, because 31 is one more than 30. Therefore, the discount here is 1 times 0.5. So right now the price the travel agency charged for each person gonna be the original price minus this discount. And suppose we have a 32, if there are 32 people, then because 32 is a 2 more than 30, so this time each person will receive a discount of 2 times 50 cents, which is $1. Now the price becomes $49. Okay, so this is what this sentence tells us. Okay, now the next sentence says suppose that the travel agency's fixed cost is 500. So that means no matter there are how many participants, this travel agency has to pay $500 in total, and it costs the travel agency $5 per person to join the trip. Okay, so after we understand what does each number mean, so before we start solving this problem, let's use this table to understand the numbers we're given in this problem again. So let's start with this. If there are 30 persons, we said at this point the price is $50 right? And the company's cost, how does this number 650 comes? Because the fixed cost is 500, and in addition, for each person, the travel agents will pay $5. So when there are 30 people, this amount gonna be 150. So that's how we get this number. The cost is 650. Now the company's revenue. Let's think about what is revenue for this company. The revenue of this company equals the price they charge for each person and times the number of people who are joining this event. When there are 30 people and the price is 50, therefore the company's revenue is 1,500. And the profit, the formula for the profit is the profit equals the revenue minus the cost. So 1,500 minus 650, that's why the company's profit is 850. Okay. And when there are 32 people, we just saw the price now is 49, and now the cost is 660 because now we have 32 people coming. So 32 times 5, that is 160. So that is 660. And the revenue is given by 32 times 49. So it's 1,568. And this number subtract from 660. So the profit is 908. Okay, so far it seems that when there are more people coming, the profit is increasing. However, this is not always true because when the number of people are increasing, the price this company charges is decreasing. So we know that if the company charges only a little bit, the company won't make too much money, right? So if we consider like a big number, say if when there are 100 people, when there are 100 people, the price is only $15 because 100 is 70 more than 30. So the discount right now is 70 of 50. The discount right now is 70 of 50 cents, which is $35. And the price, that's why the price is only $15. At this moment, you can see the company's profit is only $500, right? So the profit at first, when the number of people is increasing, the company's profit is also increasing. However, after a certain point, it will start decreasing. So this problem, it wants us to find out at which point the profit is a maximum. Okay, it's a maximum. So let's start solving this problem using the calculators. Okay. Okay, if we let the number of persons be x, let's say to achieve the maximum profit, there should be x persons coming. So okay, if there are x persons, then the cost gonna be 500, which is the fixed cost, plus $5 times x. So now the cost we can write as 500 plus 5x. The cost depends on the x, depends on how many people are there. And next, we need to figure out how to write the revenue. In terms of the x. Okay, because the revenue equals the price times the number of people. So now we need to think about how to write the price in terms of x. Let's review how does the number of people to do with the price. So when there are 32 people, because 32 is 2 more than 30, so the discount is this and the price is this, right? When there are 100 people who are participating, because 100 is 70 more than 30, then the discount is 70 times 0.5 and the price is 50 minus 35. Now let's think about what if there are x people who are coming. If there are x people who are coming, then how many people are there who are more than 30? So the answer we can write as x minus 30. Why? Because how did we get 1? Because we use 31 minus 30, so get 1. Here we use 32 minus 30, we get 2. Here we use 100 minus 30, we figure out there are 70 more than 30, right? So if they are x, then we use x minus 30, so we can know how many of them are more than 30. Okay. Now, so there are x minus 30 of people. So the discount will be x minus 30. This many people multiplied by this number 0.5. This will be the discount, and the price we subtract this number from 50. So now this is how we can write the price in terms of x. It is 50 minus 0.5 times x minus 30. So the price is 50 minus 0.5 times x minus 30, which is 50 minus 0.5 x minus 15, which we can write as 35 minus 0.5x. Okay, so once we figure out how to write the price, the revenue because it equals the price times the number of people, so the revenue will be 35 minus 0.5x and times, because we said right now there are x people, so times x, okay, which is 35x minus 0.5x squared. Okay, so we have revenue and we have cost. So the profit gonna be 35x minus 0.5x squared and minus the cost 500 plus 5x. Okay, so now we can we have expressed the profit into a function which is in terms of x. So let's call the profit as a function px. Now next, we want to use a calculus to determine the x such that this function has a maximum. Let's think about what is the domain of this function first. Because the problem says there must have a guarantee of 30 people to do the trip. So x has to be at least x has to be at least 30. So the minimum of the domain is 30. The minimum number of the domain is 30, and the maximum is infinity. Now, of course, if you're smart, you can see here, because we tried 100, right? And the profit when x is 100 is less than this, right? So actually, the we won't consider numbers which is over 100. Okay. Okay, but this doesn't matter. Okay. Now, next we want to find the critical point. So we start taking derivative of this function. So that will be negative 0.5 times 2x plus 300 minus 0. So, a second. Oh, sorry. I think I made a mistake. Here is 50 minus 0.5x minus 30, so that is a plus 15. This should gonna be 65. Okay. So it's gonna be 65, and this is 65 65x, because this is minus 0.5 times minus 30, so minus times minus is positive, negative times negative is positive, so that's why this is a positive 15. So 50 added by 15, it's 65. So this is 65, and this is a 65. And so this will be 65 minus 5x, that's 60x. Okay, so after we take derivative, this is 60, this is 60. Okay. If we set the derivative be 0, so we have negative x plus 60 equals 0, so x equals 60. So the critical point is 60. Um, if we use the second derivative test, we take the derivative again. We have the second derivative is negative 1. Okay. Now this the second derivative is constant, is a negative 1, which is less than 0. Therefore, the critical point, this at this critical point, the function has a maximum, because since the second derivative is less than 0, is negative, the graph of the function is concave downward. It's concave downward. So at this critical point, the function has a maximum value. If you use the first derivative test, you will get the same result. Okay. So we can conclude that for this travel agency to achieve a maximum profit, the x should be 60. So, and also we are asked to determine what is the maximum profit. Because the profit function is this. Therefore, when x equals 60, the maximum profit is a negative 0.5 times 60 squared plus 60 times 5 minus 500, which is negative 0.5 times 360 plus this is 60 times 60 plus 3,600 minus 500. This is 1800 minus 500 is 1300. So the company's maximum profit is 1,300. Okay, let's take a look at the graph of this function, right? So this is our profit function. So as we can see, when they are when there are 30 people, the profit is 850, right? And when there are 100 people, the profit is only 500. And when there are 60 people, the profit is 1,300. And if there are about 110 people or 111 people, then the travel agency doesn't make any money.